Namaste, angels. Virgo, this is your bi-weekly reading through March 15th. So we're going to go right into the month of March. In the first 2 weeks, knock them out with your energies. Very, very positive, very, very spiritual. Even if you consider yourself an atheist, think about it in terms of like your spirit, whatever that means to you. Could be your emotions, your feelings, could be your soul. Even if you're an atheist, I'm sure you consider yourself to have a soul. So it doesn't have to be necessarily connected to a higher power other than your own, right? Your own higher self. Is that fair enough? Okay. So I'm a little excited because we're beginning with your energy. Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit, does represent the sign of Virgo in the tarot. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. This is one of the reasons why I'm going on about how spiritual the energy that we're beginning with is. In the Rider-Waite deck, it's Major Arcana card Judgment in reverse. So also potentially a very, very spiritual card. In fact, in this deck, you see Archangel Gabriel blowing his horn, just like in the book of Revelations, and a bunch of people who are like blue, and appear to be in coffins, like they're in purgatory, is always what I imagined. And he's, it's Judgment Day. So he's caused them to rise, or God or the universe has caused them to rise, and now they're finding out what the next plane of existence is going to be for them. So that doesn't get more spiritual than that. Also, I didn't know before, but we got another Major Arcana card here, and it's the Chariot in reverse. Some of you may be experiencing a lot of stop and go energy. Travel may be delayed. You are, like myself, as a Gemini, are ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules this travel, communication, electronics, basically everything that we have the potential to use every day, right? Planes, trains, automobile, modes of transportation, all of these things. And so Mercury is currently in retrograde, our beloved leader. It won't be for this whole time. It goes direct on March 9th at like 11:45 p.m. So you might as well say March 10th. Kind of, sort of, 15 minutes later, it will be the 10th on the day that it goes direct. And that maybe when you begin to, have the energies alleviated. Currently, it's located in Pisces. By the time that it goes direct, it will have moved into Aries. In any case, the Chariot, which represents the sign of Cancer. So a Cancer could be potentially particularly significant to you. This could be representative of stop and go energy. Like maybe we start our relationship, then all of a sudden things die down. Or I start to make headway at work or with my interview process, and people start giving me responses, to my resume, and they tell me they're going to call me back and they're all excited about me, and then we slow down. And I haven't heard from anybody since. All these people couldn't wait to hire me, and now, my phone's not ringing. There's some sort of delay, there's some sort of pause, something's like stuck in the mail, or for whatever reason, they haven't been able to call you. As soon as we entered, not as soon as we entered shadow, but like days before we were officially retrograde, when it was still in the shadow phase, my phone, my laptop, like everything already started going all kinds of haywire. I had to send my laptop back to the manufacturer, got it back today, as a matter of fact, and didn't even have it a full day. It started acting quirky again. I called them up, while I still have this repair warranty. They just fixed it, and they're like, okay, send it back. It's that sort of thing. My phone wasn't receiving incoming calls for like a week. I just got a text message today that that's supposed to be fixed, and I have been receiving calls. So yeah, this is the first time, the first time this week that I've been receiving calls. So it can be that kind of quirky thing. For some of you, maybe some sort of hang up with your mail, your regular mailman's been ill, and so some other guy is doing it, and he's got it all screwed up. But eventually you'll receive what you need to receive. It's something like that. Or something's going on with another person, maybe the Cancer, or whoever this other person, if there is another person involved with you. Sometimes I look at this as like a 5, which is like the Hierophant, and then the 2, which represents partnership and stuff. So there could be a partnership, another person that's involved with it with you. And also we got these 2, right, sphinxes here at the bottom. the other person may be experiencing some sort of delay or whatever in that, or hang-ups situations, and maybe that's why they cannot or haven't communicated with you or haven't traveled to see you. There's been no movement in your situation. It seems to be stagnant, dead, done. Of course, we need two people to be involved. We need, one person can't carry all the weight. Nobody wants to feel burdened or burdensome upon the other. So we need two, but you will lay down this burden if this is you carrying all the wands, or split them with another person. Like I said, partnership. Each of you can get 5. Right? I just talked about the 5. Each of you can get 5. And here we have like more 10s on the Judgment card, just to, point that out. So of course, 10s can be looked at as 1s and fresh starts, or 10s can be looked at as, the end of a cipher. In supreme math, the 0 would in fact represent cipher. So it's like you can think about an end of a cipher, end of a cycle. And speaking of delayed communication, underneath that 10 of Wands, the 8 of Wands, which is all about communication. I mean, I could probably keep doing this for days. The Ace of Wands right behind that. So, when you do get to communicate, it's with regard to some sort of new beginning, blessed new beginning, divine new beginning in your favor. And again, perhaps connected to a partnership, maybe in terms of romantic partnerships, not just a partnership, but like a soulmate relationship. The 2 of Wands is the divine union or twin flame card of the tarot. So there's that. And I'll just mention that now underneath that is the Devil in reverse. So there could be maybe some situation from which you're breaking away from, whether it's a romantic situation or whatever it is, whatever the 2 of Wands represents for you. Could be a friendship, could be you going into business. 2s are about faith also, so it doesn't have to be romance. Whatever it represents for you, you could be breaking away from something that was inhibiting you. Again, and then that's going to allow you to eventually lay down the burdens and break your silence, or the other person can break their silence. There'll be some communication and there'll be some movement for you. Other than that, Major Arcana card Judgment in reverse is a card that warns you certainly about being overly presumptuous and or judgmental, right? And that's including yourself. Like judgment can include negative emotions like guilt and pride and envy and I guess judgment itself is sort of like a negative emotion, right? Blame, all of these things, whether again it's against yourself or somebody else. So I want to talk a little bit about the spirituality of the Hermit, because again, it's in anybody can experience this, the way that it's coming through so heavy. And again, I think it's coming through so heavy because we have these 2 very strong Major Arcana cards with which we're starting. Sort of like the Strength card, which is another 2. The way my mind works is so funny. Often in many decks, it's another 2, or it's Major Arcana card 11. The Strength card, sometimes depending upon like the placement, what area of your life you're looking at, can be about needing to spend some time alone. And certainly the Hermit can be about that, for meditation, for clarity. Sometimes he's a lawyer or judge, not really a judge, a lawyer or professor or teacher, but looking at judgments. Somebody could be having some sort of legal situation too going on. Maybe involving family or family matters, family court, marriage, divorce, something involving, family, parents, children, maybe inheritance, maybe it's something going on with your parents, probate court, estate, inheritance, judgment also about abundance that's earned, and or sometimes it has to do with inheritances and things for me. Well, that's part of the abundance that's earned. Like you've done something for by way of the universe and your karma is paying off. So it doesn't mean you necessarily earned it through some sort of labor on this plane. Your spirit may have earned it for you. Underneath the 10 of summer also, or cups. Also upright is the 4 of air. For me, this can be about planning, maybe even specifically planning a trip. It's very closely connected to the 6 of air or swords for me too. It's another card that's about meditation, not unlike the Hermit, needing to come to some sort of decision. What are you going to do? Maybe you're awaiting a decision or a judgment, you know, as in like a legal decision, a legal judgment. Just trying to give you the many ways these cards can apply to different people. Since this is like, you know, a general reading for Virgos. Work. The recognition. Remember I talked about abundance that is earned? Both of these cards, and more so together, of course, point to like the recognition that you deserve. You're finally going to get it. Like you're nearing that. If you know, haven't, it's totally within grasp, within your reach to get what you've deserved. Always make sure that you're doing your best work and you're working in a way that's not about paranoia, but at the same time to keep with the sort of mindset that I'm always being watched. You know, there's always somebody watching and checking for me. Again, not in a way like, oh, I'm going to catch you, whatever, but they're watching and they're observing how good you are, right? How deserving you are of some sort of reward, award, promotion, raise, transfer, movement, relocation. Right, so for some of you, something definitely big going on in terms of work, even if you are currently out of work, that included, there's a job for you. There's a job for you, and you may be surprised. It may be like so awesome that you might be surprised. There's the potential for it to be like, wow. And like, where did this job come from? Like 1 minute that you didn't have one, and the next minute, boom, it's like one fell out of the sky and it's the best job for you. It's like the most amazing opportunity for you. I'm feeling very like a Knight of Wands, although that's not what maybe because we just saw those wands. We saw the Ace, we saw the 2, we saw the 8. So that could be why. All right. I probably spent enough time on these. Let's take a more close look at the card that will be most directly representing you for the month. Surrounding, which can also be your energy and or that of close friends, family members, co-workers, romantic partners. And then we'll do work and finance and love and relationship, you know, like we usually do. So card most representing Virgo, womp womp, is the 9 of Swords. This is a card about anxiety. It can often be about a need for rest too, physical rest. So if somebody is working very hard and you're feeling burdened or burdensome, remember like that 10 of Wands, this can be you know, needing some literal sleep and rest. But otherwise, it's more so about worry and like unnecessary worry. Like we're worried for no, even if we have something going on in our lives, like how does worrying help? My mother used to say to me all the time, if you worry, don't pray. Because it's like you're mocking like the prayer, right? Prayer is about faith. So if you're paranoid, then you're lacking faith. So if you're worried, don't pray. And if you pray, don't worry. Because like you already got it covered. You already put your positive intention and focus on something. And again, even if you're an atheist, that can apply to you. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to consider it prayer. Think about it in terms of meditation. I'm meditating on something so that I can, you know, heal it, draw it to me, whatever your focus is. You don't like meditation? Yeah, focused intention, law of attraction, all the same thing. You don't have to call it prayer. But yeah, if you're doing those things, if you're manifesting, I know I saw the Magician here too. I wasn't going to mention him because he was upside down. Yep, here he is. If you're manifesting, which is for what the Magician is famous. The Magician represents the planet Mercury also, again, your ruler, and most directly the sign of Gemini. But yeah, this can be you too, because sometimes I do attribute it to the mutable signs in general. Right? The mutable signs are the ones more so than any of the other signs, the cardinal or the fixed, with the ability to take on the traits of the other signs. Gemini is just to the second power, but you guys got the ability too. Magician, manifestation. There's magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful. So, no need to worry. Card, the energy surrounding you for the next 2 weeks. Okay, this is much better. And it's your energy. How awesome is that? The Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles, often an actual female in your life. It's a very feminine card. So even if it's not a female, it could be representing somebody who has a strong feminine energy. Also guides you to draw on your inner feminine. Even, you know, if you consider yourself, I was going to say if you consider yourself male. Well, yeah, maybe. In this day, you can consider yourself whatever you want. So if you consider yourself male and or masculine, you still have a feminine side also. At the soul level, we are all androgynous. Like, you know, there's no sex, there's no gender, there's no any of that. And so we have a masculine, we have a feminine, balanced energies. The Queen of Pentacles guides us to really draw upon our feminine traits, nature, and maybe surrender a little bit more than we do when we're masculine. We're, you know, a little bit more stubborn. The Mars rules males and or masculine energies. That's the planet of aggression and action. You know, we're a little bit softer, right? Venus rules females or the feminine energy. So that's more nurturing and mother-like. That's how you're supposed to be when this card shows up. This is also, again, your energy, as well as that of Capricorn and Virgo. Capricorn and Taurus, which Venus actually rules, and which the Queen most directly represents as a fixed sign. It represents most directly Taurus, although it can be yours. So you may be, this might not even be, you know, in the terms of the spread, your energy. It could be another earth sign that is significant to you, and maybe specifically a Taurus. Like a, you know, nurturer or mother, you may be spending money or time, energy, maybe changing your home, redecorating your home, buying cute little, you know, things that make you feel more comfortable, or your space, maybe at work or something like that. Doing things for yourself, nurturing yourself, doing things that make you feel more at home wherever you are. In terms of relationships and love, romantic relationships especially, in strengthening them or in finding one, right? The key is, again, to draw on that feminine nature and to make yourself available. So you don't want to be the chaser, because that's masculine or male, right? You want to be, you don't want to be the hunter. You want to be the hunted. But you got to, you know, sort of make yourself available, make yourself out there, but not in a desperate way. It's very strategic when she shows up in terms of love, like how you have to play on that feminine way. So it's like, here I am. Oops, I fell down. And then he can catch you. He can get you, you know. So again, even if you're a male or masculine, that's going to be the key. Just soften things up a bit. I'm not saying be phony or whatever, but just soften things up a bit. Or look to that softer, more side of yourself in approaching your relationships. You'll be happy you did. Work and finance. This is interesting because I talked about jealousy and with the negative emotions. 3 of Cups can definitely be about that at work. Not that you're the one necessarily that's jealous. Somebody could be, of course, you know, envious or jealous of you. Maybe because, like I said, with the Judgment, it looks like, and with the Queen of Pentacles as well, which is now crossing this, it looks like something is coming your way, right? Some sort of abundance that you've earned, as does the Hermit indicate. So maybe that's why they're jealous. Otherwise, things should be pretty pleasant and, you know, normal. Other than that, at work. If you are out of work and looking for work, again, you should be quite successful, and you know, you maybe surprisingly, like you'd be like, whoa, how did things work out so awesome for me? It's very, very possible with these cards that you got here. Finances, you want to make sure that you're not having like devil, like we saw the devil a little while ago, attraction or, to money, again, especially if you move to do something for yourself that makes you feel more at home, definitely do it. This is not the time to be like a hoarder, of money or, paranoid about it and stuff like that. I'm not saying run up your credit card or anything like that and to buy some stuff that you can't necessarily afford, but not to be a tightwad either. Don't be an extremist in either direction. How about that? That's probably the best way to say it. And let's see what you get for love and relationship. Knight of Wands. I felt him. Oh my God, that's crazy. I'm glad he's upright. So speaking of work and finance, you guys may meet somebody through work somehow. They might not be a coworker. I mean, it's possible that they will be a coworker, but they may not be. It could be indirectly, and perhaps whether it has to do with work or not, perhaps in your travels. This could specifically be business travel that it is you're needing to go on, though. And that may be how you meet the person. This may be connected to the Cancer, too, to the stop and go energy or the delay in travel with the Chariot in reverse. They could be connected. If this communication is important too. And I'm feeling like maybe because for me as a Gemini, the sign of Leo rules my third house of communication. I'm just feeling very, very strongly from this Wands. Leo precedes you. Some of you guys may be Leo Virgos, maybe. My son is. Okay, maybe that's why. I'm feeling more strongly than anything else, Leo. And it's not because of the card, because actually the same way the Queen represents the sign of Taurus, the Queen would represent the sign of Leo as the fixed sign of the element of Wands. So it's not that. I just was feeling very strongly the Leo. So again, some of you may be Cuspians, or maybe that is who you're going to meet. Whatever. Whether Leo's involved or not, because this will also be representative of Sagittarius or the sign of Aries, which our ruler is entering on the 4th. That could be what's up there too. In any case, make time, whether you meet somebody new or, you're out there looking when you meet people, or whether they're online or in person or whatever, or if you're in a committed relationship, it's very important to have effective communication is what I'm getting right now from this Knight of Wands. So definitely talk, and not in a fake way. Don't be paranoid about whatever, the need to talk. If you don't feel comfortable and natural with this person, then maybe that they're not the right one if you're single and you meet somebody, because it's just very important to develop the nurturing that you both need and the closeness between you, the bond, that you have good conversations. And actually, some of you may be dealing with a Taurus, because the Taurus had 2 Knights of Wands in their reading. So we could have some earth sign on earth sign action going on, especially with this Queen of Pentacles showing up and sitting here above your placement of love and romance. I don't know how long I've been doing this, but I want to potentially do another spread for you. Actually, what I ended up doing for Taurus was not another spread at all, but still looking at some of these cards for them. So let's do that. And I used to do all my shuffling and cutting and everything 100% live. And then I decided that in the interest of time, so I could spend more time actually doing the reading and explaining the cards, because a lot of readers, don't really explain. They just tell you, well, this is this, and like very superficial meanings. And, so I always like to actually explain and give you examples. And because I see stuff like in-depth stuff, like, well, you know, your cousin may have a baby, and I see all kinds of like really specific stuff. So I've always just liked to do that. So in the interest of time, I stopped shuffling, and I've just been trying to fit some of it back, at least some of it back into my readings. Look at this. You guys got another Two of Wands, Two of Fire. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. We got really dark here. Maybe my camera battery is going to die soon, so I just want to at least look at some cards quickly. We got the Three of Spring, Three of Wands. It's about patience, but, you know, like what you're trying to manifest on the horizon. It's going to just require a little bit more time. Like after the Three comes the Four of Wands. That's when you have the stable foundation. Here is the Queen of Spring. So the Queen of Wands. Here's that Leo that I was talking about. Talented, brilliant, independent, and charming. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. I'm so glad this card came up for you. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once. Maybe that's why you feel like you're carrying 10 big wands, but you can do it. You can handle it. Masculine subconscious. And it is another devil. Major Arcana card 15, ego, the devil. Could be representing a Capricorn in your life, potentially. You know, that may be the other earth sign with which you're dealing, if that applies to you. Otherwise, again, this can be where you are feeling, so given the placement, masculine, where you are feeling sort of attached to something that you want to break away from. Maybe you're feeling stuck because you're needing to be patient. That could be what it is. Or you're feeling, again, overburdened. So that can be bringing up feelings of fear and anxiety. What am I going to do? I got too much on my plate. Feminine. Crowning. The Knight of Fire. So it's another Knight of Wands for you too. Now you got two Knights of Wands just like the sign of Taurus did. Passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Again, feminine, perhaps meeting somebody through work or doing some traveling, maybe specifically for work. Knight of Wands is very much about travel and, you know, work and career. I didn't read the Three of Wands to the masculine. Stop to take time to review and to make long-term plans. You may as well, because you got to be patient anyway. You got some time on your hands. You can capitalize upon your past successes. It's appropriate to pat yourself on the back, right? So don't blame yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Remember the Judgment card. Pat yourself on the back for all of your accomplishments, but you may also need some patience in order for the next phase to play out. Surrounding the feminine, it is Major Arcana card 5, Unity. I'm so glad I did this for you because everything I talked about is showing up here. And you saw me cut all these cards in 10,000 different piles. Traditional viewpoints or methods. Spiritual organizations seek out mentors and like-minded friends. So the Hierophant is about partnership and commitment, contracts. So it doesn't have to be like that type of commitment, although it is up to and including marriage. It can also be a contract, a work contract that you're entering. I got a new job. I'm signing on the dotted line that I agreed to this, or a house contract. Right? We saw some things coming up with a home purchase, home sale. It can be all of that. But also for me, it is a card that is representative of the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves. And sometimes we have a need to make an adjustment to that because they no longer align with our spiritual vibration. Right? So it could definitely be that for somebody. And Major Arcana card 4. Here's the Aries energy. The Emperor represents the planet Mars. Again, ruler of the signs of Aries and Scorpio. It's a very masculine card. It is, you know, aggression. It is action. It is leadership. Can often be representative of an actual man, maybe our father, a father figure, an authority, a large corporation and our government agency with which we're coming into contact with Unity and the Emperor. This and the Knight of Wands could definitely be about you getting, you know, a new job, again, with a large corporation or perhaps even a government job. Crowning, the 10 of water. It's another 10 of cups for you. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. You have trustworthy relationships. This is about exactly that, like being surrounded, just feeling surrounded by love, even if it's just like one other person. It's feeling surrounded, but feeling emotionally content. Guess what else you got? Another 10 of wands. You've been working far too hard and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others. And take some time to play and to enjoy life. Make sure you're getting it in terms of social interaction with other people, right? That emotional fulfillment, you need it. And at the heart of the matter, the 3 of winter, this came up in the Taurus reading too. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. And actually, I didn't talk about that because I just talked about the relationships that you may be entering and going into, although I think I may have mentioned the potential for like divorce or something. But another meaning for that hermit with which we started, which again represents your energy, could be that you, in terms of love, are soon to reconnect with somebody from your past. And maybe that's your soulmate and that's your love, and that requires you to leave someone else. I'm going to pull another card for that 3 of swords, winter, at the heart of the matter. I like to use upright cards, so I'll pull this one. It is the next upright card, and it's a renewal. Yep, guess what renewal is? Judgment. Isn't this crazy? It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. You may have to make changes, adjustments to the people, places, and things with which you surround yourself. So you may have to get out of a relationship because another one is waiting for you. You may have to leave a job you love because another one is waiting for you. Judgment is about second chances, second time around. So it could be, again, in relationships, maybe somebody from your past, you guys are going to try it again. In Virgo, every time I do your reading, for the last 3 times at least, there's been some sort of somebody from your past is really pulling at your heartstrings. So, you muster up the strength. You can do it. Maybe that's the Leo I'm feeling too, and the strength I'm feeling. You have the strength to face this other relationship and get out of it if you're not happy, Or if you are happy, you have the strength to cut the cord to this person from the past and move on, in your happy life. This is also, again, about abundance that is earned. So something coming in and can be attached to maybe a family situation, an inheritance. And, maybe if somebody passed, that is representative of the pain, the hurt, the loss that the 3 of Swords represents. But this abundance is coming in. Again, it could be something like divorce, a judgment of divorce. Snap. So that makes you feel sad. You have mixed feelings when you get divorced. Even if you, weren't happy, disliked the person, whatever. It's still a feeling of I was married and now I'm not. And so that can be what the 3 of Swords is representing as well. We'll do some advice. Judgment is a happy card, though. I hope I didn't bring anybody down with that. And I have to remind you of the overall energy that is another 2 of Wands. So again, this is the twin flame card of the tarot, the soulmate card, divine union card. There's something very positive in relationships and money, work, career out here for Virgos. And judgment is another 2. I pointed out the 2 10s before. 2s, again, about partnership and faith. So further advice to you, masculine, it's the 5 of water. So this is you feeling loss. More 5s and 10s for you guys. Because you got the 10 of cups here. You have it twice over because it showed up earlier in your reading. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. So this is like not getting everything you want, but getting some stuff you want. Or having mixed feelings. So maybe, again, you leaving one job and that's sad, but you're getting another one. So it's like, I don't have everything I want. I don't have the friends from my old job. I don't have the, the salary, whatever. But you're moving on to something better. Things not turning out the way you'd hope. Not seeing the positive in the situation. And crying over spilled milk. Like it's not important. I'm laughing because Taurus got this card too. Taurus is the only other reading I've done so far. And they got this card as well. Despite how many times I just cut for you guys. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. That's what we've seen. The Nine of Swords, the Ten of Wands, twice over. That's the stress. It's important to balance your work and your personal life. This card can be about like too much diving into work and not enough social interaction. You also need to bring a spirit of fun to all you do. Oh, this is funny. It's another 5. Masculine, you are feeling conflicted or maybe potentially having conflict with somebody. If so, again, probably at work, because that's where there's, there's a jealous energy. Your current path, or again, this is your, maybe specifically like what this card is about to say, it's having to do with your path. If you're in a relationship that you're not happy with, get out. If you're at a job you're not happy at being, get out. Living condition you're not happy with, change it. Remodel your home. Buy some new things that make you feel happy, whatever it is. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome, so why not change it? It's in your power. Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. But this card can also have to do with poor communication, with maybe somebody's jealous. There is gossip, And lastly, speaking of, we got to be super feminine right now. It is Major Arcana card 3, the Empress, which represents the planet Venus, ruler of the signs of Taurus, Libra, and Gemini. Lavish abundance. Give birth to your dreams. Nurture yourself and others. Again, leaning on your feminine side and definitely paying attention to your intuition. If you ignore it, you will be sorry. Also, you'll be very, very attractive to people around you. And this not necessarily just in a sexual or, physical way, but also, again, in terms of you're looking for work, you're just a hot commodity right now when the Empress shows up. And in a more literal sense, it can be about pregnancy. So some of you may be learning that you're pregnant. If you want to be pregnant, it's a good time to get pregnant. So do some practice on that. I hope that you guys have enjoyed your reading. I will be back in 2 weeks, God willing. Namaste.